Hey everybody, it's been a while since I have been on and I kind of missed you. Uh, Even before I went out of town for 2 weeks and it was fascinating. I haven't done that where I really allow myself to shut off. John and I went to a Joe Dispenza event where I have been studying his work, doing his meditations for years. But actually being, oh, what's going on with my hair? But being there in that space was so incredible because I haven't been to a live event to that magnitude in a very long time. So 1,400 people together, social distancing and all the things. But it was just so wonderful to be just wrapped up in energy and people that are like-minded and, wanting to up level, but just so full of love. And it was really incredible. Um, I was writing up something that's going to go out in a blog post today that many of you, if you're on my mailing list, you'll get. But talking about it, like, if not now, when, and what's happening with, we're here in Florida. So we've been open for a while, meaning regarding, mask, all the things, allowing people to go out and such. But there's a lot of anxiety out there and regarding like opening up the world again. And, whether, wherever, no matter where you are. One of my assistants and dear friends, Flick, she's over in France, and I love talking to her and getting perspective from, because she is in the same mindset as I am, right? And regarding like her the positivity and the way she views the world and the way she raises her children and et cetera, et cetera. But then also she doesn't live in fear. And she has tools to be able to if she feels something, we know how to actually, I can coach her through that, or she knows how to actually, with the tools that I've taught her and other people, to be able to up level. So many people don't have those, right? So that's one of the things that, I really want to stress, that, to give yourself a break for feeling a little anxious just because wherever you are in the world, the government's saying like you're mask free. And I think, is it Mary Tyler Moore, had the show, and she had the hat and you see her throwing it up in the air. And I saw a meme where someone's throwing up their mask and we're free. But our bodies remember, because our bodies keep score. Our bodies remember. So for the last year and a half or so, we've been living in fear that we could potentially, and there's many people that still do believe that they can, and there's a possibility that we can. Catch all kinds of different things, right? But I just want to stress, I don't want to get into the politics behind COVID-19. What I want to talk about is the body, because I'm all about the emotional body. I'm all about, what are you feeling? And so it's okay to feel some anxiety around this. It's okay if you still feel like you need to distance. It's okay if you are wondering like, well, why am I not as excited like by other people about seeing other people? It's really more about honoring your body, but also realizing, are you hiding behind the mask that you no longer can wear? Are you using it as an excuse to not go out and see people as well? You know, um, I'm just feeling a lot of things right now, and so I feel this deep desire to just share for a few minutes before I hop on my assistance call with my girls, because I want to be able to stress the love you need to have for your own body, the love that, hi Suzanne, the love that you need to have for what you're going through, and to not judge yourself. Again, your body keeps score. So this is not just talking about if there's been a trauma with a capital T, and there may be whether it was rape or a major divorce that you weren't expecting, or a loss of a child, or war. One of my teachers actually grew up in a very war-torn country, and so there's all kind of ways that we can experience trauma with a capital T. We sometimes actually a lot of times subconsciously will ignore what the trauma with a little t, and it comes up all the time. So a lot of what's happening now, many people are experiencing trauma in their bodies where it feels a little like PTSD. And I don't want to start labeling everything, right? Because the reason why our mind wants to label something is because then we have certainty around it. Okay, that's what it is. and then I can work on it, right? I can lift, you can imagine you're lifting your body up or your brain up, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to read this book and hire this coach, and I'm going to go to this doctor, I'm going to do this thing and take this pill, and I'm going to work on this and work on this. And you're like, and then you slide out from under the car, which is your brain, and you're like, okay, done. Well, that's not really the way it works. But your brain does work that way in the sense that it wants to make you safe, not happy. So what I'm here to do, especially after spending that amazing week and a half, in this space where we were, I really believe that I had roto-rootered. For any of you from the States, you know that what that is. It's like a plumbing company where they come in and they completely just clean out all the pipes, right? I really believe that I had cleaned so much out of my system, and I know that I have. Or I would not be talking to you today with such congruency, with such passion, with such queen-like energy. I mean, I know that's who I am. And I also know that there's always a chance that you can up-level. And that does not mean that you come from a place of scarcity where you think that you actually, that you always need to improve because there's something wrong with you. The difference is that, are you vibrating at a frequency where you actually are calling in more growth from a place of fullness? And I find that the women that are attracted to me more and more and more and more, yes, there's residues that there's worthiness, a lack of worthiness that we work on. But then from there, when they continue to work with me, they're like, oh, okay, there's that brick, and we're going to build on this brick and build on this brick and build on this brick. And it's so exciting. So back to the mask, as I was, meditating this morning and channeling and writing and getting all excited about coming on here today and thinking about what I need to level up, right? To level up, to be more efficient in my work, to bring a clearer message to all of you, and to also ask, what is it that you need? Because I really want to hear from you. What is it that you need from me so you can feel more held? Whether it's in my free community of the society, whether you're in my sisterhood or my advanced practice group of the sirens, one-on-one, whatever it is, what do you need? Because we're all still wearing a mask, even when the mask is gone, right? We're all still walking around with our childhood wounds. And what are we going to do about it? So the work that I do, when you hear she's an embodiment relationships coach, what the hell does that mean? Is she helping me have better sex? I don't understand. Trust me, the work I do will help that, but that's not what this is about. It's also not about helping you find a partner completely. The work that I will teach you will actually help you up level, so the partnership that you're in will look like it's a brand new partnership. How about that? It's a lot less expensive than a divorce. I can tell you that for sure. I'm not saying that you should stay in an abusive relationship. I always have to put in that little disclaimer. But we're also going to define, what that looks like for you. So anyway, what mask are you wearing? What mask are you wearing that, as you honor your body and you realize, like, maybe I don't want to go out there in the world, and why don't I want to? Are you actually willing to have a boundary and actually ask yourself, am I willing to say, I appreciate that invitation. I'm just not quite ready to go out there yet. Or can I take a rain check? And really do a check with yourself. Because remember, sometimes our self-care can actually be another mask, and we hide behind self-care. That's gotten so popular out there to go, I'm just doing self-care. I'm doing self-care. But are you doing self-care every single night now where you actually aren't socializing at all? Are you doing so much self-care that you're not actually out there in the world? Personal development can actually be quite, you're focusing on self, right? It's personal development. I like to take personal development and bring in all these other tools that I've used. So it's not all about you. When we take the focus off of ourselves and see how we're affecting other people, what are we transmitting? Oh my gosh, everything changes. Everything changes. Now, of course, I'm not talking about doing that in a codependent way. That's a whole nother story. But you better believe one of the first things I talk about when I launch a new sisterhood is we talk about, the friendliness that we have for ourselves, the self-compassion that we have for ourselves, and probably for many of us, the lack of self-compassion that we do. Our compassion for ourselves and our boundaries look like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not, no, I have my tribe and my tribe alone. I have my beliefs and my beliefs alone, and you're not letting the light in, right? You're not able to breathe in that air. You still have this mask, which is your wall. What I like to do is teach women how to actually discover their truth, and then to really, really, really be able to determine from there, that center, how do you show up? Who do you determine are your people? Because let's face it, we're coming out wherever you are. And after this week I had, or 2 weeks I had, I have to tell you, I've done another scan of who do I want in my life? Who do I want in my really close center? Who do I want? So if you heard from me when I got back, you're probably in my center. You know what I mean? You probably are. If you haven't, I might not have gotten to it yet, but I will. So anyway, just so you know, I'm waiting by the phone. I'm kidding, but not. But you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm feeling really good. I had to be honest with you. I am just, I am off caffeine. I'm only taking these certain supplements. I really shifted the way I'm doing my hormones, my body, in the last month or so since I've been shifting some things. I actually, all that menopausal, um, fluid inflammation has left my body. And I actually looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, whoa, I have a waist again. And that felt really good. I actually haven't really lost any weight, but I just feel so, there's such a freedom that's happened here. And that of course, I'm going to share with my closest friends and my clients and such. So, anyway, by the way, if you're watching this, you're still watching this from the beginning, what you are witnessing right now is a woman in her feminine who has an amazingly strong masculine who is giving you a meta report. She's coming in here with a purpose to share, and then she's bringing all this in, all this fire. You're probably like, what is the point in this? Because she's talking about so many different things. And if you're in your feminine right now, listening to this, you get it. And if you're in your masculine, you're like, can she get to the point? So I'm curious, what camp that are you in? Because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is important, because I want to go back to if not now, when. How do you know when it's time to change? How do you know when it's time to say no? How do you know when it's time to say yes? All this to be said, many of you have asked about, you thought you missed out on this next sisterhood. I actually have 2 sisterhoods going side by side in the summer sisterhood, and I do have 2 spots that opened up that is going to be starting next week. So if you've been wondering if you want to work with me, and you don't want to miss out because you're just ready, let's just do it. I know it's summer. I know you've got kids. I know you may have had other things going on. I know you may be scared to get out in the world. We're still doing some of this online. The new program that I put out this past sisterhood has been amazing, and women are getting huge results, even more than before, and anchoring in a lot more because I'm allowing a little more time between calls. So if you're interested, send me a DM so we can have a conversation. I'm going to cut out all the middle people that normally handle doing your prequels, and I'm going to do it myself. So that's one thing that's going to happen. It's going to be different. So how do you know? If not now, when? That's just not to work with me, but with anybody. If not now, when? So I just wanted to actually address that. I mean, about the mask and about, are you feeling anxiety? To remember that the body does keep score, that it's okay, but don't live behind that. And if you have more questions about that, go to the Sacred Sheet Society, and which is the free group that I offer for people, and you can ask a question there, which will actually really benefit everyone, because we all are in the collective, right? What we do is we are always transmitting. So, for example, I had a call yesterday with a client who I just adore, and our Zoom wasn't working. I don't know whose wasn't working, but it doesn't matter. And it was such a gift from God, right? Because I got to experience something with her that she had never experienced before. And what I had her do is I had her rub her hands together like this, and then I had her hold her hands apart, and she was able to feel the energy, and if you haven't done that, do it. She could feel the energy. And then we actually just kind of walked through a process, and then I had her hold her hands all like this. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can feel you. We could feel each other. And so even though I can't see all of you, we're always transmitting. So even if we didn't do this and we didn't hold up energy and feel energy, you can feel my energy now, even if I didn't have my hands up. We are always transmitting, even when we're not in a room. And so a lot of women who are in my group programs, they think that they can just kind of hide behind the scenes and they won't be missed. but even in your absence, you're actually transmitting. Does that make sense? When I ask women to move what they're feeling in their emotional body, you can actually move to numbness. You can move to feeling frozen. You can move to anger, of course, and all those other things, but you can move to joy. So that was another thing that came to me after being with so many people, in a very short amount of time, was how limited some people are in their feeling body. Like, a lot of people think when they meditate, they have to be completely still. I love moving meditations. I love walking meditations. I love that you don't have to just be in this very still space, which can be very masculine, but then there's a way that you can mix it up. Meditating is, contrary to popular belief, it doesn't have to always be, on a hillside or at a retreat. You can literally close your eyes when you hang up with me, or turn this off or what have you, and, go skip. You can have a skipping meditation, believe it or not. But I was really amazed as I'm talking to the women right now, and maybe men, you're listening to this as well, and you can understand this, but how difficult it is for some people to access joy, how difficult it is for some women to actually really feel joy in their body and then be able to express it. And I don't mean express it for someone else to experience joy, but just within their own body. So I saw these transformations happening, and they were so exquisite. And I remember, I just started skipping on the beach. And I started skipping on the beach, with other people around. And if you know me by now, you know that that is something that I had to work on. I had to work on childlike joy. I had to work on experiencing joy for no reason. You hear the term causeless joy, which is something that I heard a lot when I was in India years ago. And causeless joy essentially is that on a given moment, something brings you joy. What is it? You'll probably see me like looking around a little bit now. I have like little things on my desk that just will evoke joy. I make sure my surroundings are full of things that bring me joy. Does that mean that I have balloons in every corner and little stuffed animals? No. But do I have some things that remind me of my childhood? Yes. Do some things remind me of my childhood that I would have loved to have had? You better believe it. But joy can be simply in the way, like when my pool's clean. When my pool is really, really clean, that makes me happy. And the rain makes me really happy. I love to move to the rain. But I had so many women stop me later and go, didn't that make you feel weird? Didn't you feel like stupid? Like skipping and hopping and all the things? And I'm like, well, no, I don't even think about it anymore. But it used to. And so, if not now, when? Years ago, when my teachers gave me this, like, Sandy, you're pretty much addicted to your pain. You're addicted to this breakup. You're addicted, not necessarily to your ex, but you're addicted to the feelings that this breakup causes you. Which is one reason why I had a lot of breakups, because I was really addicted to that feeling of the yearn of wanting a man to just like be there for me, right? So I was addicted to the feeling of being abandoned, addicted to the feeling of being sad. Now, oh boy, there's going to be some of you that go, there's no way I'm addicted to that. I want to be rid of it. Subconsciously up here in this big noggin, wow, I sure do have my daddy's forehead. Do you see this forehead? This is a Michael Nussbaum forehead. Father's Day is coming up. My daddy died years ago, and I always have a date with him at the beach. And so, Daddy, I love you. This is my father's forehead. But yeah, back to that space. See that woman, like that meta report there? It's just interesting how we can get addicted to an emotion. So if you can get addicted to sadness, you can get addicted to the feelings that coffee can give you, or the feelings that alcohol can give you, or the feelings that alcohol don't give you, or the feelings that a drug give you, or the feelings that exercise give you. Why would you think you can't get addicted to a positive one, right? Why can't we actually bring in more joy? Why can't we bring in this? And not judge the other ones as well. I think you know by now, especially if you've been working with me in any of my paid programs, you know that I am like, come on, let's experience all the emotions, but you want to make sure that we do it from a place with an open heart. And we want to make sure that we do it from a place where there's like a start and a stop. Because especially when you want to amplify those, because when you make something wrong, and you put little Sandy in the corner because she's feeling something, Sandy, we're not supposed to feel that, then that's when shame is born. That's when guilt and judgment is born. So I'm like, all right, little Sandy, come on out. Come on out, shame. Come on out, guilt. Let's shine the light on it. Because if we can shine the light on those emotions, you know, they actually don't feel so scary anymore. They just don't. So that's why I'm back to the point. I told you I get to it. Is just because you can take the mask off, you might be feeling some anxiety. If you want to rewind, go back to the beginning. I talk about this, but don't hide behind the mask that you no longer have to wear because we're still wearing a mask. So if you're interested in talking a little bit deeper about what that looks like to actually live beyond the mask, um, I'd love to talk to you. I had this big vision of I had this big vision when I was there of the women that I'm going to be serving, and it's amazing when you set your intentions on something. And I have 3 new one-on-one clients that walked into my life since I've been back, and it was amazing. I also want to state that I went through a major detox after this event. So, you know, when you start doing some major changes, you know, it may not always feel good at first because your body is so medicated on stress hormones. Your body is medicated on stress hormones. Remember what I said earlier about how I looked in the mirror and saw like a waist? I am relieving myself of stress hormones. And you may be thinking, well, wait a minute. She's talking about coaching women and she's still feeling stress. Well, yes. Do you have any idea how interesting it's been, like being married to this amazing man that I'm married to? I've never had a relationship like this in this space. And so, you know, it's just been so beautiful to see like how we're showing up for each other, how, what I'm doing to actually show up differently, how he won't accept anything less than, you know, all of me. And my all of me is going to be that little Sandy shame in the corner. When he sees me go in that space, he wants to call me out. Now, you better believe that he's got his own childhood stuff too that he brought to the marriage, and that I'm doing the same thing for him because I believe, ladies, we are our men's oracle. God will speak through us, but you've got to clear the stuff to be open to what's going to come down for you. I mean, we can all live this life and live on this very topical level if we want to. Those are not the women that I want to work with. I desire to work with women that are a little curious about what's under the veil. Like, what's under there? I want to be very curious, but I'm scared. That's okay. I can work with that. But if you're like, what the? No, I'm perfectly fine the way I am. There's nothing else for me. I've got it all. And if you're got it all, and you've got the nice house, and you got the nice car, and you got the nice husband, you got the nice kids, and they're going to private school, or whatever it is, and it's all about this surf. It's all about something that you got, and it's not about something that you are being, then we need to talk. We need to talk. So anyway, wow, that was a lot. And I see Shannon and Flick actually have popped on, my 2 amazing assistants who I just love, and they make me just so much better than I already am. And so I know we have a meeting soon, so I'm going to pop off here. I love y'all. I am just I feel so amazing, and I'm so excited. And Linda, hi. My amazing girls on my, oh my God, it's so good. Some of these women are actually in my program, and some of these women I've known for years. So don't think you need to not know me. That was a double negative to work with me. We keep a tight container, and I actually have many of my close friends that I actually do coach as well. If you feel like I can't do that, that's a limiting belief. We can take that and cast it to God's light because I can really serve you. And if we don't resonate, that's fine. I have many people I can refer you to. But I do suggest that maybe we have a conversation. I also have one more one-on-one spot available where I'm interviewing people. So again, I'd love to talk to you. But if anything, go to the society. The Sacred She Society is a free group. Please take advantage of that. People used to pay to be in that group, but I've opened it up to the world. Also, make sure that you get on my mailing list. You can do that by going to sandysembler.com/quiz. And let's do this. I feel like the year's just starting. So, and here we are. Anyway, I'm here to support you. Please send me a DM. Please ask questions in the society. Please ask questions here. I love y'all. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I know I'm talking to many of you over the weekend. to touch base. So I love answering your questions, and I love hearing how this touched you. Please let me know if there's anything here that resonated with you, if you're feeling a little nervous or anxious about getting out there, and we'll go from there. So much more I want to share, but I do need to go. Mwah. See you later. Bye.